Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Greetings to you from your respective locations, wherever you may be around the world. While Vladimir Putin is preparing for a conflict that could last for all eternity, while Putin is gathering all the resources to be able to confront NATO and the West in the event of a clear failure of the ongoing negotiations, this gentleman, Jong Un, is no longer sleeping. His army is no longer sleeping either. Jong Un, who knows perfectly well that the West and NATO will try something else against Vladimir Putin, and that America would also try to push South Korea against North Korea, is preparing for an endless conflict. Since the beginning of 2025, Jong Un has ordered a fourfold increase in the production of military equipment, again, whether missiles or drones. He ordered massive production. Several tests have been carried out on new types of North Korean weapons. And the tests, the results have been conclusive or satisfactory. But despite all this, Jong Un is still not satisfied. He gathered his war cabinet of all his unit commanders. He told these military officers to prepare for war. He says that they must get ready. And the Western world is wondering, what is he preparing for? Why? So many questions they are asking themselves. And these questions, we will come back to them when we go deeper. Ladies and gentlemen, in the context of this video conference, this is of course what we are going to talk about. But before we continue, I ask you to share this video conference as much as possible. Sharing gives more visibility to the video conference. It allows us to gain new subscribers. We need to be many here to continue the fight to raise awareness. Because a youth that is not informed and not given real information cannot make good decisions. And you know, for a very long time, as Ibrahimtraoré said, they have deceived us with their media, RFI, France 24 and others. Today, Africa must have its own media. But if we don't have what we want, we have to make do with what we have. This is what we have. So help us make it bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go deeper. The situation is serious and World War III could break out. And very soon, very, very soon. Because North Korea is getting ready. And you know very well that North Korea and Russia have recently made it clear that the two countries have worked together specifically to drive NATO soldiers out of the Kursk region who were there. They boasted about this successful cooperation, which is based on Article 4 of the pact binding North Korea to Russia, similar to Article 5 of the NATO Charter, which allows NATO member countries to stand together and fight together when the territory of a member country is attacked. This is the article that Russia and North Korea have copied and adopted for themselves. And now no one can question why North Korea is coming to help Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, according to official information, for several days now, Jong Un has been organizing military exercises. The North Korean army is under tremendous and the most unspoken pressure. On this Saturday, Jong Un organized a combat exercise for Air Force units and urged the army to prepare for war. He told them clearly, get ready for it. The exercises included tests of a new guided bomb. You know, the types of guided bombs. These are the bombs that Russia regularly uses in Ukraine. Russia has an irreversible and irresistible love for these types of weapons. So the exercises are focused on a new long-range guided bomb and another one that hovers in the air. I don't even know what that means. Hovering in the air. That is, if we can imagine it, it flies. And then it hovers up there in the air, it stops there, does whatever it wants to do, and then continues on. Is that what it means? Experts, please help us out in the comments. Yeah, Kim Jong Un is upset. The man is in a hurry, meaning he loves conflict so much that he's been producing military equipment here and there. Things are heating up. The North Korean leader emphasized that all branches of the military should undergo a radical change. All branches of the military should undergo a radical change in their readiness for conflict and remain constantly prepared to go to war. Here's what he says. All branches of the military should undergo a radical change and be ready to get involved in the matter. Will this matter take place between North Korea and South Korea? Or is it to come and lend a helping hand to Russia? This is what is making the West panic. If it is limited to just North Korea and South Korea risks disappearing because it's right under North Korea's nose. And North Korea has developed types of weapons that can travel from country to country. Kim Jong Un is angry, he's upset. So, the word that catches attention is when he tells the troops to make a radical shift in war preparations. And today, Saturday, May 17th, 2025, as you can see in the image, the North Korean leader, Kim Jong Un, met with military personnel, military leaders, to reassure himself about the level of preparedness. He spoke with them while inspecting the projectiles during a visit to an airfield. So that was during his visit. Let me correct myself. It wasn't today, it was yesterday, May 16th. He was there visiting these jewels, these gems, to see if these things are ready to join the action. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is what keeps Westerners up at night. We will continue to follow this news. We will see what comes of it, and we will come back to discuss it here on the Éveil de Conscience platform. Thank you all, and I will be back with you shortly by the grace of the Almighty with more news. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.